Man UTD icon Gary Neville launches into passionate Scott McTominay rant, not having it. Scott McTominay saved Manchester United's day with a late brace against Brentford, and now club icon Gary Neville has had his say on the midfielder. Manchester United icon Gary Neville has hit out at the criticism that Scott McTominay faced before his heroics in the Red Devils' 2-1 win over Brentford on Saturday. Erik ten Hag's side were losing in stoppage time as they were on the verge of another disappointing result, before forgotten man McTominay stepped up to rescue his side with 2 late efforts. McTominay's brace came after a summer where he was consistently linked with a move away from United, having seemingly slipped down ten Hag's pecking order. The Dutchman opted to bring in Mason Mount and Sofyan Amrabat into the midfield, as McTominay was frequently overlooked for a place in the team. That led to some questions surrounding McTominay, which he helped dispel with his brace against Brentford. But Neville has issued a passionate defense of the 26-year-old as he reflected on United's victory and what exactly the Scot gives to the team. "Manchester United yesterday I was happy," he said on the Gary Neville podcast. "I felt sorry for Brentford because I like them a lot, but it was huge. Huge in a sense that it would have been a depressing start to the season, and by no stretch of the imagination does beating Brentford with 2 goals at home in the 93rd and 97th minute mean everything is okay. That's far from it. It's a mess." I was happy for Scott McTominay. The stuff on social media I have seen over the last few weeks, I think that's the classic when a club is falling apart, when you start to have your fan base and media people questioning the work ethic of a kid who has come through the academy since the age of 7 or 8. Sorry, I am not having that. That is one kid who would run through a brick wall for the club. The big question is the stability that is running right through the club at the moment, and it's not there. I don't think Manchester United will finish in the top 5 this season. I just don't. I think they are way off it, and I am surprised because 7 or 8 weeks ago, I had them finish 3rd again. McTominay came through the United Academy, having joined the club as a 5-year-old, with his work ethic being one of the major characteristics he displays in games. Having made close to 150 club appearances, he may even fancy himself. Man UTD have perfect candidate ready and waiting to replace Erik ten Hag immediately. Manchester United have suffered their worst start to a season in 37 years following their defeat to Galatasaray. Manchester United's board may be willing to stick with Erik ten Hag, despite the latest disastrous defeat to Galatasaray in the Champions League, but there is an ideal candidate ready and available should they change their mind. Ten Hag has been heavily backed in the transfer market since coming in as the club's new manager in 2022 in a bid to build his own side. Big money has been spent on the likes of Antony, Casemiro, Lisandro Martinez, Rasmus Højlund, Mason Mount, and Andre Onana. They appeared to be on the right track in Ten Hag's debut season as he helped them secure a top 4 finish, as well as ending their 6-year trophy drought. However, United have failed to kick on from there and are already playing catch-up to start the new campaign. They've lost 6 of their opening 10 games across all competitions for the first time since 1986. Defeat to Galatasaray has already left United with a mountain to climb in order to make it through to the knockout stages of the Champions League. Just 3 wins from 7 league games has also left them falling 7 points adrift in the battle to finish inside the top 4 once again. United's argument will be that there's still plenty of time to turn things around for Ten Hag, and the Dutchman was hired with the idea of looking at the long-term vision. However, there will come a point where a decision will be need to made if Ten Hag is unable to turn things around. Contingency plans may even be in place for that scenario, and Graham Potter would almost certainly be high up on that list. The 48-year-old was seen as one of the world's most up-and-coming coaches at Brighton before his disappointing spell at Chelsea. Potter almost had an impossible job at Stamford Bridge, as he was given the almighty task of overseeing huge changes on and off the field at Chelsea. Mauricio Pochettino hasn't fared much better in the Chelsea hot seat, with the club's lavish spending continuing this past summer. The mess that Chelsea currently find themselves in goes to prove that Potter wasn't completely at fault during his short reign in charge of the London club. United need only look at Brighton's trajectory under Potter to see what kind of manager they could be getting with the right project underneath him.